welcome to Level Up Life Quests with Paloma. Welcome back, fellow adventurers. It's been a while. I'm excited to be back after a few months of a bit of a hiatus. So I want to share with you why I've been away and some important lessons I've learned about self-care and consistency, even when life gets tough, and what I'm doing to press reset on my habits, my goals, and my consistency. So let's start. 2025 started a bit rough for me. I spent almost 2 months dealing with a sinus infection, which I got treated for, took antibiotics, and then I got sick again. I had really bad laryngitis and earache, and I had no voice for quite a while and more antibiotics. So it was quite a challenging beginning of the year and quite a whirlwind of beginning of the year, but I'm not gonna let that derail my progress or get me down or make me quit in my habits and my consistency. And I'm focused on making 2025 a great year. As you know, I deal with fibromyalgia and ADHD, and getting sick as I was especially, is even more challenging because my fibro gets worse, it flares up, but also my ADHD symptoms and my brain wanting to do things and to get back on track and doing my workouts and being able to be consistent in my routine. When I'm too sick to even work out, that affects my ADHD symptoms a lot because it is part of my routine, and without my routine, everything goes to whack. These past few months did teach me a lot about listening to my body and taking things slow and not beating myself up. It was a challenge, but with my systems in place and my mindset that I've adopted over the past year, this round of being sick has been much easier to deal with mentally than last year when I didn't know what was going on and I didn't have my systems in place. It was a bit hard the first few days to give myself that self-talk and let myself know that it's okay to stop, it's okay to rest, and it's not gonna derail your progress. It might slow it down, but slow progress is still progress. Always remember that. Slow progress is still progress. It's one of my big mantras, along with don't make excuses, make adjustments. But yeah, one thing that really helped was to keep my minimum, and my minimum was put on my workout clothes when I wake up. Just by doing that, it triggered my brain into understanding that I was still doing my habits, I was still doing my minimum, and that as soon as I got better, I would be back on track with my workouts and with my habits and back to eating super healthy, which I was already doing while I was sick, but my appetite was also not doing great. When you have chronic issues and you get super sick, you need to listen to your body and you need to prioritize rest. And telling that to my ADHD brain that you have to rest, if you have ADHD, you know it's not easy to tell your brain that it's okay to rest because your brain doesn't want to rest. Your brain wants to do things. I want to talk a bit about what to do when you're sick and you are dealing with the voices telling you, oh no, you have to do your workouts, you have to be busy, you have to continue applying to jobs. But if you don't rest, your body is going to rest for you, and it's going to be at the most inconvenient time. So you need to understand that if you're sick, you need to stop. You need to listen to your body, see what your body needs, and you need to rest. In my case, I had no voice for a while, so I was texting my husband inside the apartment instead of talking to him so that I wouldn't force my voice. The first thing I really recommend for when you're feeling sick is to create a cozy environment for yourself to rest and recover. I highly recommend, if the couch is the place you're going to rest throughout the day, make it cozy. Put on some nice LED lights, some candles, put on some nice music if you don't want to watch anything. put on some relaxing music while you're reading a book. Do something that relaxes you. Creative things are always good, but make sure to make your space cozy so that you can rest and recover. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, health professional, but I want to share some of the things that help me recover from my sinus infection and laryngitis. I do have chronic sinusitis, so I do get sinus infections frequently throughout the year. I'm going to share a few tips that really help me get better. First of all, as I mentioned, rest your voice. Avoid talking, singing. Stay hydrated. Always have a big cup of water with you or a big bottle of water. This is my go-to, about a liter, and I have it with me all the time, either with regular water or sparkling water. So keep hydrated. Lots of fluids, lots of water. If you are dealing with appetite issues, you can make soups for your meals, smoothies. Usually my breakfast is oatmeal with fruit, but days that my throat was really swollen, I was struggling to actually eat the oatmeal. So what I did was turn my oatmeal into a smoothie, because then I still had my nutrients that I usually have in my oatmeal. Warm compresses are also amazing. So I use a heating pad, a heating blanket, a hot water bottle. If you want to do a hot water compress, doing it with a hot water bottle. So I have this one inside the stitch cover. So I'll heat up some water, and then I will lie down when I'm sick, and I will put the compress like this on my face for my sinuses, then a bit more for this side. If you don't have a cover for your hot water bottle, it's important to have like a towel wrapped around it, because you don't want the rubber burning your face from the hot water. So yeah, you can do the compress, and you can do it on your head. You can do it on the back of your head. It helps a lot with decongestion, but also the pain from your sinusitis, which is not fun. Also, if you're dealing with a stuffy nose or a lot of congestion, I highly recommend trying saline rinses. So I use a neti pot, and it's really good. Like, put the little packet inside the water. The rinse helps clear your sinuses a lot, and it's amazing. So I want to talk a bit more about staying consistent when you're sick, just because it is something that's been very important for me over the past year. Staying consistent with my habits, my workouts. Even when you're not feeling your best, there are ways to stay consistent with your goals. So as I've mentioned before, there are the minimum for each of your tasks, the minimum for each of your habits. You should always have a minimum, because then you can stay consistent even on days when you're not feeling great. But first of all, if you're sick and you know you can't do things, adjust your expectations. Focus on smaller, manageable tasks and do them throughout the day at your own pace, listening to your body. Use the good enough approach, or the minimum. So don't let perfectionism hold you back. Perfectionism can derail a lot of your progress when you're building new habits. So try to move away from perfectionism and focus on the good enough, or the minimum approach. Practice gentle exercises. If you can't do a full workout because you're super sick, try low impact activities like Tai Chi or yoga, or just stretching, or just meditation. Any slow movement will help you recover faster. Taking care of yourself is not just important, it's essential. By prioritizing rest and self-care, we can bounce back much stronger. And as I mentioned, if you don't rest, your body's going to rest for you at the most inconvenient time. We can bounce back stronger and continue our quests with renewed energy. That is what I am doing this month. I am pressing reset with renewed energy, taking my vitamin D shots, eating super healthy, and getting back to my exercises. And I know that I will reach my goals and my new habits eventually. Pressing reset, it doesn't have to mean starting from scratch, but it means remembering what worked for you when you started and doing that. So this week I've started tracking my weight, my meals, my exercise again. For me, it's this is where the new year starts, and I am focused on posting more consistently, recording videos more consistently, and I'm excited to hear from you what you're doing to press reset on your year. how your year has started, what habits are you building or decided to build or continuing from the previous year. Thank you for watching, and let's level up together. Thank you. Bye.